All right, Bruce, I'm going to tell you how to make your first 10K, or how to start a business that can generate at least 10 grand, $10,000 goes, okay? Let me put on my headset. All right, guys, so let me just make this thing very clear first. I am not a guru. Actually, I don't need my headset. Maybe I mog a bit more without the headset. Give me a second. So let me be perfectly clear. The reflection on my glasses is killing me, man. Maybe these glasses are better. Nah, barely, bro. Barely. Fuck it. Alright. Reflection or no reflection. However, if I have any eye surgeons or opticians out there, can you explain what is happening here? I'm pretty sure Specsavers robbed my ass extra money for like some anti-reflective glass. Well, buddy, the anti-reflective ain't anti-reflecting enough. Anyways, time to get to the point for today. Today I'm going to go through how to make your first 10K online, your own business. And let me be perfectly clear, I'm not a fucking guru. I am not rich. I am not some crazy entrepreneur ski thingy dingy. And compared to a lot of these other people on the internet, I'm a very, very fucking small fish. But I have a big fucking snake on my arm. So that's something, right? But in all seriousness, I'm a small fish compared to most of these other people that you can find online. However, I got an angle here, okay? So, I'm assuming that if you're watching this video, there's, I would say, most likely, the majority of you guys have probably not even sold for a single dollar from your online business, okay? I think that's a large amount of you guys watching. And I'm pretty confident that the majority of you guys watching, at least, probably haven't sold for more than $1,000 worth of sales from your own business. And that's not because I don't think you guys are big shots or anything, but it's just that if you watch and consume this kind of content, then you probably need, you're in the start of your journey, or you're just getting started. And I have sold, like, gross total or whatever, probably over like $10K, so somewhere around there, okay? So I think that I can still help you out and be a valuable resource. I think I can still help you out, is what I'm trying to say. Even though, like, compared to some of these other influencers or motherfuckers on the internet, I ain't shit. Does that make sense? So I actually think that I can be more helpful in a sense because I'm more closely to you guys, and I remember what the process is starting out and all of those struggles, whereas those guys have been in the game for so long, they've made so much money that they can't really properly relate, or they don't understand struggles in the way that maybe I do. So in a sense, I think I may be a more reasonable messenger. Does that make sense? If you're new to my videos, I just want to start off by saying I have ADHD, and I unapologetically will be myself, ADHD version. My meds are out of my system, well, very, for a long time now. So if the unstructured video is bothering you, then I'm sorry, it's just gonna be this way, okay? So I'm gonna record on my iPad, hopefully, so you can see. The plan is that I will show you a little recording. I'm gonna be doing some drawing here, okay? So I will try to be helpful and draw a bit to make this a bit more engaging, okay? All right, so let's just title this 10K, all right? So this is what we're working with here. And I want to start off by making some ground rules, okay? So ground rules. First rule is fail. Okay, so when you go into this, you have to understand that in order, even if it's like $10 or $20 or $10,000, whatever, you have to understand that you are going to fail. You're going to fail many times. You're gonna suck at it. It's gonna be a fucking pain in the ass, okay? Have you seen those memes where people are like, well, I'm quitting my 9 to 5 to work 80 hours? Yeah, so that's actually how the reality is, okay? So if you are deciding to start your own business or want to make money online, You have to understand it's going to take a fuck ton of time. It's going to be really hard. It's going to be lonely. It's going to be annoying. And that is why we come to rule number 2. All right. Oh, fuck me, man. Passion. Okay. Now, this one is huge. Okay. Passion. So, I see some people, they're like, yeah, I'm a bit tired of my 9 to 5. I should like start a business. Bro, you've already failed. That's, it ain't gonna work. Like 90% of the time, that's absolutely the wrong angle. Like I just said, because of rule num, fail, okay? It's a horrible, horrible process. You're gonna hate it, but you're also gonna love it because it's a very different experience, okay? You need passion, okay? You're not starting your business because you want to make money or you want to, you're tired of your job. Like, I know there's some people out there that can do it and have done it. I think Andrew Tate has a clip like, well, you think people selling rocks or stones are passionate about it. Yeah, I get that point. But for like 99% of people watching, and who probably is the target audience for this, you need passion, okay? So it's about what do you like, what do you enjoy, and what can you allow yourself to spend a bunch of hours without seeing any fruits of your labor for a very, 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 very long time. Because it's like going to the gym. You need to put in a shit ton of reps before you actually see that, yeah, I got some gains, I'm getting stronger, all of that stuff. Does that make sense, okay? So you need passion. So I would recommend you this. Whatever your business is, pick something that you're familiar with, like a subject that you're knowledgeable in or like or enjoy, or something that you... Does that make sense? Like, for example, that brings us to ground rule number 3. Actually, let me segue here. So, skill, okay? Actually, Skillz. All right. So, I would recommend you. So, there's a bunch of different businesses that you can do, but if you're listening, if you're paying attention, then you're not going to be a dumbass that's like, well, I'm going to do dropshipping or I'm going to do SMMA, okay? Because that is the wrong angle again, bro. That's the absolutely wrong angle because you're looking for a business model. You are not looking for what you're passionate about. You cannot lie to my face and tell me that you're passionate about selling dog shit products for China, like toys with BPA and, PFAS, like forever chemicals to moms, okay? Nobody is passionate about that shit. Do not bullshit me. And very few people are passionate about like outsourcing and doing marketing for other businesses. I know there are people that are, but most people aren't, okay? So people that go into that way, they're looking for different ways to make money. They're looking at different business models. But I don't want you to do that, okay? If you're listening to this dumbass, this 24-year-old dumbass from Sweden that at least managed to make 10K, we go forward to point number 3, which is skills. So I want your business to once again be something that you're passionate about, that you're willing to fail a lot. And what is the best business model that you can do? It's going to be something regarding your skills. Why? Well, if you make a clothing brand, for example, that makes sense. That can be something that you're passionate about, and even maybe you have some skills and maybe you have a good eye for creativity or designs or that shit, okay? That makes sense. That's valid, bro. That's okay in my book. But if you're making a clothing brand, then you are going to have very high expenses, okay? So first you need to spend a shit ton of time making designs, then you need to find a supplier, then you need to pay your supplier, then you need to pay shipping taxes, maybe custom fees, all of that shit, okay? So, that can work, and if that's the way you want to go, then go for it, bro. I'm not stopping you, that's valid. But skills is beautiful because, one, it's easier to sell, okay? I would say. So, easier to sell. Why? Well, because you are selling something that you're good at. You're not selling a product necessarily. Does that make sense? So if you're a great carpenter and you make your own business where you're doing carpeting for other people, they're not buying a fucking magical saw or whatever the fuck people use when they carpent, They're buying your talent, your skills, and maybe you use a magic saw or whatever. It doesn't matter. But in my sense, I started out because I had been going to the gym for a long time. I really enjoyed it, diet, all of that stuff. I'm a dietitian. So naturally, my first business, or actually I tried dropshipping and all that bullshit, but my first real step into the business that I managed to take to 10K was by using my skill, which is in fitness, health, coaching, and all that stuff. So I used my skills to do coaching services for others, helping them get progress in the gym, helping them lose weight, become stronger, all that shit. Okay, so why is that good? Well, it's easier to sell, right? We already touched upon that, and it's cheap. Okay, it's cheap. All right, so if you compare to the clothing brand, you have your supplier cost, you have the shipping fees. When it comes to Skillz, the cost can be practically zero. For me, it wasn't entirely zero, but it was close to it. So in my case, when I started out, obviously what I was selling was my my skills, but I hosted it on a platform through Shopify. So they took some cash money militia, they took some dollar signs from me. But then I changed routes to not having a website at all. So I could literally have zero expenses on my business. I have had very, very, very low costs on my business. I've actually had to find shit to buy for tax reasons, which has been really nice because I don't live by my business. It's an extra income. It's like a side hustle, okay? So I can afford my business to go bankrupt or lose a ton of money, but I leverage it in the way that instead, if I made 1K a month, instead of having 1K as profit, I'm buying shit that can elevate my business. This iPad is bought through company funds. This Apple Pencil is bought through company funds. What is recording me right now is an iPhone 17 Pro. It's bought by company funds. So I literally have no expenses. I have the privilege to create my own expenses. I don't need some company in China to steal my revenue, okay? So that is a huge upside to Skillz. It's cheap. It doesn't even have to cost anything. So you can afford to do it for a long while and you don't lose your money. Because you have to remember in business, it can also be like advertising costs, it can be website domain costs, it can be so many things. But with Skillz, the costs are so low, which is great when you're starting out and you're creating your business. So Skillz is great. Also, it's good because you can probably get like referrals, okay? So the first coaching client I had, actually can't remember exactly who it was. Yeah, okay, I do remember. So the first coaching client I had was a friend of mine, right? So referrals / friends / word of mouth is another pro to Skillz. So that's the beauty. If you have a skill, either you can give a taste test for free to people. So you could hit up your friends that may be interested. So in my case, I had a friend which I know, I don't think he was going to the gym at the time. I know he had expressed some interest in maybe starting to go to the gym. I think for him it was a lot that he wanted to lose weight. So I, decided to reach out to him and be like, hey buddy, would you like to try my coaching services? Would you like to have a free consultation? Would you like to try a free month of online, coaching, whatever it may be, and it's so much easier to do once again when it's your skill. That's the only thing that you have to cost. It's necessarily your time, because when you're starting out, you are going to have so much more time than you have funds or money, okay? But then it's going to be the way opposite end, that you have your time is much more restricted and you have a lot more money, and that's when you can start to outsource. You could hire an employee, you could buy things that make your life easier, that save you time, all of that shit, okay? But it's also, you can get referrals from friends. And for example, I've had some people which I coached, which then recommended my services to people they knew, which is very nice, because when you're selling a skill, you're also kind of selling yourself. It kind of is a package deal, right? Because a lot of the times when we work with a skill, you also have to work with me or the person doing the skills. So if you're a skilled carpenter, people aren't only buying your carpenting skills, they are buying to work with you and you as a person, and that builds the relation, which can then give you more referrals and that stuff. So I don't know, I think I could find some more reasons why Skillz is a good starting point for your business, but I'm just gonna leave it there, man. I think you get the point. So number 4 is of a ground rule is, okay, so number 4 is I'm gonna call it your friends are idiots. Okay? Now, this is half joking. It's very harsh. But there's actually a big truth to this. Your friends are idiots. And friends could be replaced or added by like family, peers, you know? It doesn't matter. So your friends, family, peers, whatever, they're idiots. Now, I'm joking. I'm not saying that they're literally idiots, but I want to make this point very clear, okay? So when you're starting a business or when you're starting something new in your life, or even when you're making a change, okay, naturally, or maybe you want to go to your friends, ask for advice or input or thoughts or what they think, which is very natural thing to do. But once you do this for a while, you understand that it's not worthwhile. It's not worth it. It usually does more harm than it does good, okay? Because if you're thinking of starting a business or becoming like, whatever, you're thinking of starting a business, chances are that you're kind of like a trailblazer, entrepreneur, visionary kind of guy, okay? And most people aren't. Most people, not saying that it's anything wrong with it per se, I think it's very important that we kind of have this structure, but you have to understand that most people aren't fit for what we're talking about here. Okay, most people are fit for clocking into a regular job, being told what to do, and doing no more than what's asked, okay? Not putting in any value per se into that, or like saying it's bad or good, but that's how most people are. So they won't speak the same language as you when you come with these ideas or visions or things that you want to do. So they don't speak the same language as you, so they may not really get what you're doing. And a lot of the times people project their insecurities or concerns onto you. So, all right, so, you know, they will say, well, how are you gonna, you know, live by that? Or how are you gonna find clients? Or do you really think that's a good idea? Or blah, 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 whatever it may be. I'm telling you, don't listen to it and be very careful who you tell the people in your life about these kind of things for or about. Be very careful who you choose to do it, because most aren't going to give you anything valuable to add onto that. They're not going to give you anything, and a lot of the times they can ruin it for you. They can put doubt into your mind. They can kind of sabotage. Some people will be jealous if you do manage to succeed, and I'm telling you, it's very easy to have your mind poisoned, all right? Like, if you really believe in what you want to achieve and what you want to do, that I'm almost certain that you can do it, bro, okay? You just have to put your mind to it, grind, do not give up, because in reality, that's what stops the most people. It's because they give up. Maybe you need to fail like 50 times, 25 times, 100 times, okay? Maybe you only need to fail 10 times, but a lot of people won't even put themselves in a position to allow themselves to fail 10 times, bro. 10 times is not a lot. Bro, do you know how many times I failed like a PR at the gym? Imagine if I gave up after the 10th time, okay? I'm telling you, do not fucking give up. That's the biggest issue. We learn so much when we fail and when we do errors. It's more like productive than to just have a good streak all the time, because then you don't see your blind spot. You don't learn the lessons that you need to be learned and taught, okay? So do not give up and allow yourself to fail. Remember, it's the first, ground rule of this 10K shit I'm talking about. Fail. You're gonna fail. Embrace it. Enjoy it. That doesn't mean that you don't give it your all and that you don't have a good mindset and like give it your best and like due diligence in your work, okay? It's not that. But be careful, okay? Because once again, your friends are idiots, your family are idiots, and your peers are idiots. So if you truly believe in something, you're passionate, go for it. And don't worry too much about what the people in your life are saying, all right? And once again, like, this is kind of hard because it's not a one-size-fits-all. Some of you watching are the idiots, not your friends, not your family, not your peers, okay? You have to be a bit grounded, okay? Is this just absolute batshit crazy? Don't quit your day job, but don't quit your dreams. And don't quit the idea that you're gonna fail a million times. Does that make sense, okay? I hope I'm getting myself clear here, okay? So I'm not saying to just ignore all of what they say and just be like naive and go crazy, but also be very, very cautious about what energy, thoughts, or things that you put into your mind, okay? Number 5 is, like Nike would say, bro, just do it, okay? So this actually pisses me off so much, okay? So people say all these things they want to do. They want to lose weight, they want to start going to the gym, they want to start their business, they want to do this, that. Bro, just fucking do it. Why do you keep saying that you want to do it instead of actually just doing it? Okay, I'll steal an example from like a Swedish kind of like influencer or like a educator in the same aspect that's we're talking, like business is e-com. Okay, and he said a great analogy. People will try to find so many excuses or things that will stop them from just actually taking action. So for example, if you're watching this video, I'm sure that some of you guys are really keen on getting started, but some of you guys are putting like roadblocks in your way and acting like they're made out of like dark matter or something. So I'll steal this example. So there was like a question, well, I think this was about dropshipping, and there was like, well, you know, how do you do the taxes part with dropshipping, and how do I open the business in Sweden? Like, what are the rules? What are the laws? And it's like, bro, you're so stressed about all of these things and doing it right, and like, how do I do this? How do I do that? You haven't even sold for fucking 20 cents, my guy. You haven't sold for like $1.50, okay? Why are you so concerned about the IRS when your ass ain't even made $1 yet? Like, what the fuck? Make your money, make your business, take action, and then worry about the problems when they come. You don't have to figure out everything before you get started, okay? That's, actually, I'm gonna write that down, okay? Learn and solve as you go, okay? Learn and solve the issues that come when they come, as you go, okay? You don't have to figure everything out at the start, okay? I promise you, it's okay to take action. It's okay to just start, to just do something. You don't need every single answer out there in the world, my friends. I promise. You are competent and capable enough to solve these issues when they actually appear, okay? So if you actually start to sell some money, maybe you sold for $50, maybe you sold for $100, maybe you sold for $10,000, then you can start to worry and think about, well, how do I do this taxes shit? How do I do this IRS shit? Because it's actually something that you have to be concerned or think about, and then you solve it as you go. And this kind of ties into hand that just take action, just do something, man. Like, what the fuck? Like, get started. Are you serious, bro? Like, stop making these excuses and just take action, do something. Like, seriously, fucking quit this video, bro. You already know what to do. I've already given you so much sauce, so much information. So now, literally, close this video, bro. Please, I'm begging you, close this video, figure out what skills you have and how you want to market them and how you want to sell it to other people and who your first client is going to be. Is it going to be your granny? Is it going to be your friend's friend? Is it going to be somebody that you're DMing on Instagram? And then just do it, okay? You don't need more information. There's plenty of information out there, okay? So the biggest thing is taking action, just doing stuff and then solve it along the way. And the best example I'll give you of this is that I didn't properly keep a record of my receipts or taxes probably all the way until I made like 5K or something. And it almost caused me some problems. Almost. Like, it was pretty chill. And the worst case scenario that could have happened wouldn't been that bad. But I'm telling you, if I wasn't stressing about these things when I've sold for 5K, which is still like, it's something, all right? It's at least something that where you actually need to start paying taxes and doing things properly. Then I'm promising you, you do not have to shit your pants about when you've barely sold for $100, okay? Just get started, get it going, and then go crazy. I think that is the most things that I wanted to put out there. I could give you some small tips, like for example, try to find your business something where you can balance something that you're passionate or something you enjoy that isn't a complete pain in the ass to do time-wise or effort-wise, that also can give you some good results. So I'll give you 2 stories. So you remember how I told you I started off by doing online coaching. I was doing my online coaching for like barely $100 a month, which is fucking nothing, and I put multiple hours into that and effort. And it's like, it's not a great leverage. And honestly, I have to come clean here. I don't enjoy it that much. Like, it's not that enjoyable. And a lot of it is because people aren't that into it. They aren't as dedicated as they maybe think they are, right? They're not as about it as they would like them to be. So I'm like putting my effort, and I'm like, bro, I can literally promise you that if you just follow my advice or plan here that we decided on, you're gonna be fucking jacked, you're gonna be strong as fuck, and you're gonna feel great, and you're gonna get a ton of bitches, whatever it may be. But you just don't take action on it. You're not doing anything, and that's quite frustrating. So then I started, because I've been doing like video editing or social media stuff for very many years, and I actually do enjoy editing videos a lot. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna use that skill, video editing, as my business or my leverage, okay? So my first editing client I ever had was a friend and his mutual friend. And I think I charged $40 for like a very well edited video that was like maybe 20 minutes or something. Like the hourly wage of that has to be, well, let me tell you, it was way below minimum wage. It was, I think slaves back then made more money than I did on those kind of videos, to be honest. And there was so much complaining and bitching from those people too. It's like, yeah. Anyways, so I started out friend, $40 for a well-made video. And then I got to the position where I could charge like $500 for the same amount of effort or less effort. So if you compare then to my online coaching, which, you know, has been somewhere around $100 to $150 a month, compared to editing a video for X amount of hours, making $500. So yeah, be a bit mindful about which skill you decide to use and monetize. Also be a bit, think about also how like scalable or marketable it is. And there's also that perspective that if you are like good enough or you're grinding hard enough, then that won't be an issue. You will be able to stand out and market yourself, but have that in the back of your mind. I guess is the point. And one last small tip, because honestly I don't think I have more sauce to give here per se. I think I've said like the most important things, and I know it's very abstract, and some of you guys maybe don't learn the best way by being abstract, but this is the best advice I can give. It's all about your mindset and just getting started and finding your way, okay? But another small tip is, when you do get to the point that you start getting some cash money militia, use that wisely to grow your business, all right? So I want you to imagine like an old train or like a locomotive, okay? So you throw or like you shovel coal into the train's engine or whatever the fuck, and then the output is choo-choo, like it goes quicker, better, okay? I want you to use your money the same way. So if you're, let's say that you are in the same position as me, as you're doing like video editing, okay? So you get some money and you want to choo-choo, and your computer is a slow piece of shit, then spend some racks on getting a better computer so it doesn't lag and that stuff. Or if you're a music producer, get some, I don't know, bro, like some studio headphones, like these ones are good. Or yeah, you get the point, all right? Like use your money in ways that help your business and make your life easier. And if you're also smart, you use your money by buying things that make your work and business easier or better, like you can also use in your daily life, like the camera I'm using here, which is an iPhone 17 Pro, alright? You think I use it for my business all the time, motherfucker? Hell no. You think it's registered under my business? Hell yeah. You think that's a tax write-off? Hell yeah. Alright, be smart, alright? Be smart. Because I'm telling you, there is literal pedophiles on this earth that have gross amounts of money that rule the world and do whatever the fuck they want, and you're telling me that you're not willing to make some slight, like barely, not even illegal practices. What the fuck, bro? Do you even want this? So I guess that's my closing thoughts, alright? So this has been Scropan. Go out there, make some cash money militia, but most importantly, fail a shit ton of times, have fun, grind, and do not give up, bro. Like if you give up, I'm going to saw your balls off, I guess. Yeah, different kind of video today. This has been Scrollpan. Take care, bros.